Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Just Send It to Marketing, a podcast where we analyze a brand, a story, or a campaign. I have Andre here with me, who is a marketing strategy consultant, and I'm Prachi. I'm a luxury consultant. Today, we are going to talk about...
It's a podcast where it makes a little bit of taboo and humor. It is hosted by Jordan North and William Hampson. It was launched in 2022, and today we're going to talk about Help, I Sexted My Boss.
Let's get into it.
So, Prachi, have you listened to them? Have you seen them online?
I did. After we decided, I came across Help, I Sexted My Boss because of you, actually. When you told me that, have you listened to this? It's humor. It's humor on taboo topics. So the concept was very interesting. That's why I looked into it. I searched it, and I must say it took me a lot of time because I'm not originally British to understand what they're saying, but after a point I did get it, and I must say it's super fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally understand. I came across their show first time when I was probably commuting to Brighton.
Okay.
So I had a long an hour and a half journey on the train.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, it was really difficult for me to understand. As you know, I'm also not British.
Yeah.
And the accent is really strong. But after you get used to it, it's completely fine. And it's a brilliant show. I like how it is a humor show, but they also tackle the day-to-day dilemmas. That's basically how they position themselves. Day-to-day dilemma, and they talk everything about everything in a funny, in a jokey way.
Yeah. I think even the hosts are very opposite personalities.
Yes.
If you come across it. So William Hansen is an posh etiquette expert.
Yeah, he's an etiquette expert.
Yeah. And Jordan North is a
BBC radio presenter.
Yeah. So
completely different,
contrasting personalities. I must say.
He worked really well. Yeah, one thing I really like about the show is the chemistry between the two hosts.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the awkwardness, and it just really feels like two friends talking.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I think audience connects with that a lot, because at a point you keep feeling very depressed or very serious about these issues or these sensitive topics of what the topics that you come across through that podcast are kind of very serious and sensitive topics. But how do you evaluate that in a humorous way? I think that's very interesting. Have you by any chance watched a TV show called Friends?
Yeah.
You remember the character of Chandler in it?
Yes.
He used to do the same. Like whenever he used to come across a serious situation, he used to laugh and let it go.
Yeah.
So I think I keep remembering Chandler when I hear Help, I Sexted My Boss. So I think...
I think it's a great show. And so after the research and everything, have you come across any marketing theories?
Yes, of course. The first and foremost that I came across was, or I could connect, is homophily. Because, for example, it happened with us as well. Like you told me about it. And you told me the USP in one line about them. And that's what interested me to go ahead and watch it. So I think or to listen to it or anything. So I think that is, again, the connect that you feel it after you watch that or when someone tells you to watch it. So I think homophily comes across very strong, word of mouth. The second is, I realized that there's this theory called the cultivation theory. It happened with a few consumers, or it happened with me as well, I think, as a consumer personally, is they cultivate you through that journey. You keep seeing their online presence. You keep hearing what they talk, even though you don't understand at first because of their strong accent. You don't, but they keep you engaged. They keep you cultivated throughout. So once the theory says that if the social media presence or the presence of that brand is keeping you connected to them for a very long time, even if you're not quite into it, it's called the cultivation theory. And they were quite successful in doing that because I myself got attached to it, or, even though I didn't understand, I was still hearing it. I was still listening to it just because of the USP factor. So that is one theory. And the very, very important one for that brand especially is the Shakhtar Singer two-factor emotion theory. Okay. It's a very big theory, but the name is big, but it suggests that the physiological arousal. For example, when you talk about an embarrassing situation, physiologically you keep thinking that it's bad, so you want to be depressed, but when someone tackles that in a humorous way for you, you don't end up depressed, you end up having a laugh about it.
Okay.
So the physiological arousal of me being depressed is connected to my mental arousal.
Okay.
So mental arousal is not depression. Mental arousal comes across as laugh.
And they portray that on the show.
And they target it and how. And they're successful in it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's shown because if I'm not wrong, Help I Sexted My Boss is number 5 on download on Spotify or Apple.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that again because it's Apple.
Yeah.
They are very successful because if I'm not wrong, they are number 5 on Apple Podcast platform. So of course, people are relating to it and people are sharing, people are talking about it and spreading the word.
True.
About the show.
Do you think, Andre, though, sometimes it cannot relate to a few, like some people cannot relate to it? Like, I agree it's because of accents, but for some people, do you think it can be a challenge or, to find the humor in that serious situation?
Yeah. So I think that's also part of their audience, their target audience.
Yeah.
So we're talking about mid-30s onwards, English speakers, obviously, and especially British.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, the accent, and there are the two things, right? One is the type of humor. That's a very British humor. And the other is, of course, the British culture. There's a lot of jokes, there's a lot of mention on the show that are related to English culture or the British TV shows or British celebs that if you're not in the country, you might not get the joke.
Exactly.
And going back to what you asked on the humor side, people can sometimes be offended by it.
Yeah.
It depends on your background, depends on a lot of external factors.
Exactly.
But people might find offended by it and leave the show, which is fine. It's not for everyone. It's not a show for everyone.
True.
But it works.
Right.
It works for a lot of people.
So taking into account these cons, Andre, like, do you think you can recommend them something to tackle it?
Yeah. So there are a few things, right? One of them, they have a community. They have a community called GNDivas.
Okay.
And they have this product placement on the show, which is the wine spirit, wine aperitif called Dubonnet.
Yeah.
And they drink in every episode, and they call themselves GND, which is GNDivas. I think they could explore that community more and create a deeper connection to the community.
Got it.
Another one would be to invite a guest to read their stories on the show. You bring someone to the show to read their story, and again, that person going to spread the word. You enhance your brand reach. Third recommendation would be why not have an award, something similar to the best story of the month, where you have people to participate of your show to vote. You have more interaction, and then again, it's pushing the show forward. Have some sort of goodie bag for the winner. That can also bring some income from company that want to sponsor that. I would go on those lines for sure.
Nice.
If I could give them some recommendations.
That's nice. That's really nice. Different.
One thing I want to point out about the product placement, the wine aperitif, the Dubonnet, is that they share the same audience. I've really quick researched the drink. The drink and they also target mid to late 30s. So it is a good match as well. Yeah. So maybe we can talk about that Dubonnet later.
Yeah. True. I think, that's where you connect demographically and psychologically together. So I've targeted it nice. So, Andre, do you think we can do a quick SWOT analysis for Help I Sexted My Boss? Can you tell me some strengths and weaknesses for this?
Yeah, of course. So strengths, definitely the unique concept. You don't see a show which makes humor and taboo everywhere. And the chemistry between the two hosts. It's a big strength for them, and the social presence as well. Both of them are very successful in the individual profession, and the show can benefit from it. Weaknesses, the value proposition of the show could be a bit clearer. If you don't follow them for too long, you kind of you don't know where they stand. Can you give me some opportunities and threats?
So I think in opportunities, they can expand the scope. For example, modern dilemmas is a huge topic, so they can cover more than one modern dilemma, except the sensitive issues. Then I think they can also do cross promotion, wherein they can go for live streaming, they can go for video formatting more. So I think that's again an opportunity. Threat for them is, I think, again, the cultural backlash could be one, because not everyone can relate to what they're saying. So the next thing is trends again, because they keep changing. Trends and humor keep changing. For example, they're talking about a trend and humor right now, but 2 years down the line, it could be different. So that can again be a possible threat. And the third thing is sensitive issues. That can be a threat. So but overall, I think I also didn't know about it. I took time to relate to them, but I would stop listening to them.
I must say, follow them on all socials, and I have the button take on my Spotify to download their episode. I really like them. I think it's a great way to communicate.
Of course, it comes across very positively, and mental healing to laugh on serious situation. So
I think we've reached the end of the show. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I hope you like. Don't forget to comment, share, or if you want us to analyze any brand, a story, or a campaign, just put in a comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.